I'm going to share with you another momentum trading strategy you need to have in your arsenal when trading meme coins in the trenches, particularly with Axiom Pro, which is the cheapest and fastest way to trade now. The link for that's in the form of the pinned message in the comment section. You're also going to need two badass indicators that predict volume before they happen. I'm going to share that with you, and also your take profit, stop loss, and a couple of other things that's going to really position yourself to take advantage when an influx of volume comes into these particular tokens. So let's get on with the program, guys. And if you don't know by now, this is Axiom Pro. Once again, the link's in the form of the pinned message in the comment section and in the description box. You'll be getting 20% discount as well. And it's just the best platform right now, in my humbled opinion. I'm sure you guys would agree if you've been following the channel over the course of the last month. So what are we talking about? We're going to be taking advantage, guys, of this particular tab, which is called the Discover tab. And when you come here, there's two sections. There's a deck screener section and a trending section. And over here, it shows us it's ranked by volume, as you can see here, from highest to lowest. And this now is where we come into play, where we essentially want to take advantage of these types of plays here where, you know, volume comes in and we don't give a shit where it came from. We don't care why it's pumping. All we care about is taking advantage of that uptrend going higher and higher with the price action, okay? That's the name of the game here. Obviously, you can't short, you can only long. So we're taking advantage of the upside, all right? And we want to get into these positions before the volume happens or as it's occurring, okay? So we could start off now with, I guess since we're here, come to the Discover tab, click Trending, and then I just have one filter here, which is a minimum market cap of 100K. Actually, I have two. Also pump. I'm not interested in Radium because if I choose Radium, these tokens here could just, you know, be created on the Radium exchange without going through Pump Fun and having those hard-coded safety nets like, you know, they can't honeypot me, they can't literally remove the liquidity, right? So over here, we have those safety nets, right? So click Pump and minimum market cap of 100K. Now, why do we want a minimum market cap of 100K? Because normally after these tokens cross the migration phase or they graduate off of Pump Fun and they come below 100K, they more times out of 10 just go to zero or die out. So what we want to do is we're looking for these tokens that are above 100K market cap that still has room to grow or still looks healthy. All right, guys. So make sure you do that over there. And Deck Screener, same thing applies. They only have a 5-minute time frame here in terms of, you know, when volume's coming in. The trending is probably where we're going to be spending most of our time, but go to Deck Screener tab over here, go to the filters and do the same thing with Pump and 100,000 over there. Now, since we're here, we're just going to click this. And this is where the real alpha lays, okay? So these are the two indicators right here. One's called the accumulation distribution. The other one's called the MFI or the money flow index. Now, I want to make something unmistakably clear here. Indicators aren't something that you're going to be using quite often in the trenches, especially in the pre-bonding phase. Now, there was an indicator I showed you guys how to use for the first column to get volume. That does help, but for the most part, you're not really using too much indicators pre-bonding. When it comes to post-bonding and you're really looking to get, you know, to take advantage of the volume or the momentum, that spike of volume, these indicators do give you a better understanding on when that signal should come or when you should buy or get out. And I'm going to show you guys how to use these two indicators right now, okay? So once again, accumulation distribution, this is volume data driven, okay? So the first things first, you come to the indicator tab over here, just move that, and you want to go accumulation distribution. Put ACC, you click this. Once you click that, this is going to populate, and that's that, okay? Now, when this is going up more, that means there's volume supposed to come, or the volume looks great, or there's volume being built in the back end that you don't see just yet, all right? And when it's coming down, well, that means the volume is dying out, all right? Now, the MFI is another indicator we're going to be using over here. So to locate that, you want to put in money flow. You click this, and then it's going to populate. This is very similar now to the RSI, where it's an oscillator, and it has a number ranging from 0 to 100. So when this rises up over here, that means that how this particular asset is overbought. And when this line, as you can see right here, comes below here, that means it's oversold. One thing I forgot to mention, guys, with your MFI, make sure you change the setting from 14 to 7. So you see MFI 7, you need to click this cogwheel, and in the input section, yours should show 14. Change that to 7, because we're doing much more higher frequency trades, and we want a condensed, more sensitive data to be populating for us, okay? Because things are happening much faster. So 7 is where you want this figure to be in the length, not 14. Now, the beautiful thing about the MFI in comparison to the RSI is that the MFI, or money flow index, actually uses two things. It uses the price action along with the volume. The RSI is solely based on price action. So a lot of people would say the MFI is an evolved version of the RSI, and it gives a true accurate calculation on where the volume should be headed, all right? So we're going to be using these two indicators. Again, it's not complicated. You'll see how I use them together in tandem. I like to use both of them so they both agree on something, and then I get into that position. Or if they both disagree, I don't. Sometimes you'll also, where they're really effective, is where you see something called a divergence, right? So let's just say these two are going up, the MFI is going up, the accumulation distribution is going up, but let's just see how the price is coming down. That's a divergence where this indicator and this indicator is telling us something different to what the price is doing, which means the opposite should occur. So as the price goes down and these indicators go up, that means you could have something called a bullish divergence where the price tends to go up thereafter. So the indicator should give us insights to these things before they happen. That's the logic behind it, okay, guys? And I don't want to get you too confused. Now, if you're watching my previous video, you should already know how all of this works in terms of take profit and stop loss. You need to click this button over here, Advanced Trading Strategy, and then put your take profit to whatever you feel comfortable. In this instance, I'm using about 22%. Sometimes I put it to 25, but 22 is okay. And your stop loss, this is totally up to you in this area. You could reduce this, to be honest, because when we're getting into these higher market cap tokens, you know, it's a lot more time that we're in a position opposed to a lower cap token that's like, say, you know, 10K, where the ups and the downs could be a 25% swing, a 30% swing, and stop you out. Over here, that spread is much wider because of the larger market caps, okay? So we could put that to 22 and 25 stop loss, and then you're good to go. Also, you could really look at your fee structure here, which I've shown in other videos. I'll go over this very briefly and quickly. So for the buy settings, I have a 10% slippage. Why? Because when I want to enter a particular token, I want to make sure I'm closest to that entry point that I saw in the moment of time before I press, you know, click my mouse, right? So now, if the price changes up or down, it's still relatively close by 10% to that price that I want to get into, okay? So you got that at 10%. You got your priority at 0.001, and I got my bribe at 0.001. This seems to work for me. It's still very quick. I don't want to use unnecessary fees that's going to slash into my profits, so this works just fine. Let's go to sell settings. It's a little bit different over here. My sell slippage percent is at 95. My priority is 0.001 and bribe is 0.001 as well. Now, if you're trading with size in this particular strategy I'm going to share with you in the discovery tab or trending section, you could put your bribe to 0.005 if you want to get quicker execution on your sells. Now, over here now, you know, you're going to have like a lot of people competing, a lot more volume on users, so it does make sense. But again, I had nothing but a pleasant experience with these fees, so I'm personally not going to touch it. And also, the MEV reduction I normally keep off. Okay, so I didn't mention that in the buy section. So in the buy presets, keep MEV off. And the sell, you could keep it off because it's all about speed here. But when we get into these more established tokens, because, you know, who knows, these market caps could be in the millions, right? If we see volume, we don't give a shit if the market cap's, you know, 5 million or 500,000. But this is where you could get the MEV attacks. So it's just really based off of your judgment or your consent on how you want to do this, really. but I've never got MEV'd. But some people want to keep the MEV on in this particular area, but I'm going to keep it off because I've never got MEV'd really. And I'm really trading with some small size here, right? Like 1 SOL, 2 SOL, 3 SOL. Maybe when you get past the 10 SOL, you might want to put that on. Don't want to blab on too much on that, but it has been working for me. Okay, so you have your take profit set up, you have your stop loss set up, you have your 2 indicators set up, you have your filters in the Discover tab set up at minimum market cap of 100K. You got your Axiom Pro account. Now we're ready to look for some volume. So let me share my screen here and get right to it. Once again, right, so this could be a day where we have a lot of volume or we have a little bit of volume. It just depends on how busy things are. Now, also make sure you're on the shortest time frame here. So in this instance, in Dex Screener, 5 minutes. In this instance, 1 minute. And I mean, this is not crazy volume of 26,000 in 1 minute, but it's still something we'll possibly take advantage of. Now, also when you're waiting for volume to occur here, and it does come, you might want to come to Dex Screener, okay? And go to the filter section over here. And this is another area where you could probably find some volume before it shows on Axiom, although they're pretty quick with it. And it could, on Axiom alone should be good enough for you. But nonetheless, come over here, click pump swap, okay? You don't want all dexes, you want pump swap. Once again, the same thing applies over here with the minimum market cap of 100,000, yeah? And I just normally put the 5-minute buys to 250, and this is what I get. Okay, so obviously you're on Solana, you chose pump swap, you chose 250 5-minute buys, and then you chose a minimum market cap of 100K, and then you look at the volume section. So this guy is getting a lot of volume. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention a couple other things here. Come to this tab, click 5 minutes, trending, you want it on 5 minutes as well, okay? You want the latest, up-to-date, fresh, new opportunities, all right? And that's what this will display, and you pretty much just look at it by volume. So DMCP just came up, right? And yeah, so that's how that, and look, it's over here too. So let's take a look at this. Is this an opportunity for us to take advantage of, right? First things first, I'm going to be looking at my indicators and also the growth of this token. Again, I'm not really interested in this token if it's been, if it's under 100K. So this is not under 100K, right? We put in those filters. Let's see if this is an opportunity for us with our indicators. So our first indicator, what you should do here is, since we're on the 1 second time frame, it's going to be hard to really read this line if it's going up. So take a look at the number. And if the number goes up, well, that's when you know the volume is increasing. And this should be telling us the buys that are coming in, right? So once again, this is overbought, this is oversold. As this goes up, that then tells us there's buys coming in. As this is gradually going up, this is giving me an indicator of overall volume, all right? And it looks like it might be dying, at least as of now in this moment in time, okay? So we'll just monitor this for now and see where the price action goes along with our indicators. So there's some nice volume here, okay? We got to wait it out still. Okay, so that's up. This is relatively up, still over the 50. Let's dive in. So here are my stop loss and my take profit. I count the positions and we can see that right here in real time. So this is in agreement with this other indicator. This is well above and this is on the upside. Let's see what happens over time, okay? And there we go, 10, 8%, right? And you can manually sell this if you think the data is going to change based off your indicators, right? So once again, we'll just leave this here. So right here, it's dying out, right? But it's okay. It could pick back up any second now. This is the main indicator for the overall volume, okay? Make sure this stays at least sideways or kind of goes up. Even if it comes down, it's okay. It could still spike up. So far, so good. And this is the thing about this area. You'll be in positions much longer over here than you would be in obviously the first column or the second column. Okay, overall volume. So as I said, look at the numbers. So 15.21K, right? We have gone down now, right? More sells. The net flow also helps, the net volume rather. So 1.4K right now in the green. And we have these buys at, the sells, it's starting to pick up on the sell side. Okay, guys? So just be patient over here. Trust your indicators. As we're getting some spikes in volume, be patient. Look at that. And we'll just sell that right there at 12%. That's it. Okay? And it probably will continue some more. But once again, we just did a 12% or 11% gainer on that particular token. And as you can see right here, had we waited, we would have triggered our take profit. Okay, guys? But nonetheless, I'm not doing this to make money. I'm showing you guys the examples and how to use these indicators, right? Look at this. This is getting bullish here, but it could die out, right? So right now, what this is telling us is there's more sells coming in, but the volume is still up there. So that's great. Our main piece of information is this line here, okay? So this is the overall volume, and this is our buy or sell signal, okay? That's how you should be looking at these two things. And it worked perfectly over here. Had I waited about 10 more seconds, I actually would have hit my target of 22% take profit. But hey, this is the momentum game, right? We're in and we're out. And when we come on over to our portfolio section, it tells us right here, 10.64%. This was one sold. We sold at 163, giving us 15.699. Let's see if we have a similar opportunity with this trencher. For now, had some volume that picked up. And our indicator is on the rise in terms of the blue one here, which is our overall volume. Okay, and this is our signal, which tells us there's more sells coming in at the moment. Again, you know, momentum trading and, you know, scalping or looking for dips, like this is where it could kind of coincide with each other, right? A lot of people may think momentum trading is like top blasting, but it's just trying to ride the momentum, and that's it, you know? So right now we are seeing a lot of sells. As you can see in the top right-hand corner for the net volume is decreasing in the green. That's another metric that I do use, which could reverse at any point now. That's why we use these indicators to try to help us out. But looks like so far this guy's on the downside, and it could reverse. It could reverse, or it could die out. All right, so let's see what's up here. I mean, he did have a huge ass pump, you know, from 308. Does it bounce back around there? Again, that's not the game here, though. That's not how you play the strategy. You just look at these two things and then the price action to make a decision on if you want to enter or not. So I'm gonna go in. Let's go in. Let's go in there. Indicator is slightly up there. Let's see what happens here. Okay. This is with 2 soul. As we got this up here now, the MFI and the accumulation distribution isn't terrible either. The sells are coming in now. It's fine. These ones here, you're not really, you know, biting your fingernails too hard. You know, they do have, they're not as volatile in terms of, you know, your high frequency trades we were demonstrating for you guys in the past. Net volumes in the plus green, at least at 1K. We'd like to see that start to increase. Okay, main thing here, we need to look at this guy here, then this guy. So, buys are coming in slightly. Okay. Still more buys than sells. Overall volume's high. Okay. Some people might say, well, hey, it's overbought. This is momentum trading. Keep that in mind. We want that. You need to get in during those times. Okay. Okay, that's oversold here. 14K. Does that number increase? It's going down slightly. This is where you need to pick and choose what you want to do. Okay, it's picking back up. Picking back up. Okay, look at these indicators here. So 14.37. Need that to stay or go up. And then we need this guy to come up more that tells us that's buys coming in. Right, guys? And then if you look at the overall net volume, okay, it's telling us 2.76K in the sells, though. So you got 3 sort of like points of confirmation here. And it's okay to get out now if you wanted to, right? If this is what the data is telling us, that it's going to be, you know, slowly going down in volume, then yeah, it's okay to leave, right? That's fine. Give it some more time. I just don't like to be in these positions for too long. Okay, we're out of that. That's fine. He's dying out. Okay. So on this one, it was a minus 3% loss. Okay. As you can see, minus 3%, and that's okay. We'll make that back in no time. As we're waiting for more potential opportunities, keep in mind, right, we do have the deck screener area, which already has troll and dark there, you know, so this is just the same, you know, same pairing, so it doesn't make a difference. You could also check out this section here, the migration, and see. So, for example, I don't think Grizzle was there. Was it? Grizzle probably lower down. He's somewhere. All right. I don't think he's here unless I'm blind. Don't see him, right? So is that something that we could take advantage of? It's over 100K market cap. All right. Let's see what our indicators are telling us thus far on this guy. So things look like they're died out a bit. That could change, but yeah, not much happening there. Okay. All right. Something did pop up right here at the bottom, and he's going up. Might be a little bit too late for him, or maybe not. Let's go in. This one looks good. 2 soul. Okay. Indicators are up here. This guy just started to fucking die down on me the moment I pressed the button. We're back on the uptrend. Overall volume and signals going on the upside. Okay. I might have to cancel this if I have confidence that he's going to trigger, right? My take profit. Okay, where are we here on this one? We're at a 5%. None to celebrate just yet. 12%. Yeah, this is still going up, the blue, the distribution, and we just triggered, guys. You see that? Complete. That's how you do it, okay? And the fresher, the better, to be honest, right? So if they just migrated, as you saw here 6 minutes ago, right? You do have an influx of volume that could either go to the downside or the upside. Obviously, this is going to the upside. And, you know, like, it's just fresher, right? So 6 minutes, it's above 100K. You got the net volume in the green still. Your indicators are onto the upside, or it's not telling you it's about to go down, right? And this is in agreement with this indicator, these two, you go in, man. Obviously, is it going to work every single fucking time? Nothing works 100%, but it should work more times out of 10, right? So that's where it comes back down to your bankroll management and your risk to reward. Let's go to our portfolio section and check that out. So right here, as I said, right here, right? So again, this was a play with 2 soul. Our indicator told us it was an okay position to get into. To be honest, it wasn't the greatest. Nonetheless, I pulled the trigger on that. With 2 soul, we took the 3% loss. Prior to that, we did a 10% gainer on 1 soul. And I did say, don't worry, guys, have patience and get out. You want to get out of the position, obviously, sooner than later if you think it's going to go down lower, right? So instead of having a 25% loss when we had 3, and I was like, you know what, we'll make that back up in the future. And sure enough, on the very next trade at 2 soul, we did just that, earning $50 here, where we lost about $9 here. All right, so putting us up over $40 there, plus another 15, you know, that's about $55 give or take. All right, guys, and this is how the game works. That's how you momentum trade, by taking advantage of an influx of volume coming into any tokens on the upside. I just demonstrated 3 trades for you guys. The first one, we converted over 10% using those same exact strategies with those indicators, stop loss, take profit. Okay, I've also shown you guys the loss that we took. Better take the loss earlier than later. 3% negative is much better than minus 20 if your indicators are telling you it's going to the downside, and you make it up on the very next trade or the trades thereafter. This strategy does work more often than not. I recommend you guys first paper trade it, then come with some small size, a little bit more heavier size, and then some size that you're comfortable with, because here's where you could actually trade with 10, 20, 30 soul in the post bonding curve or migration tokens, guys. Be on the lookout for my next video. I'll be dropping more alpha over there, so there ain't really much left to see other than, until that next video, your ass is on your own, bro. Later.
Francis Dhun, Uncensored.